Mitch McConnell is real salty about the fact that people are calling him out for not protecting US elections. Now, there's overwhelming evidence indicating that Russia not only tried to meddle in our elections the last time around, they're currently meddling in our elections. And so the lawmakers who actually want to do something about this, both on the left and the right, have drafted legislation which has passed in the House, but Mitch McConnell has blocked it in the Senate. So just to give you a little taste of what he's blocked, he got in the way of a bill that would require campaigns to report to the FBI any contributions by foreign nationals. Gee, I wonder why he blocked that. Let me give you more. A bipartisan bill that would protect lawmakers from foreign attacks, maybe like hacking, that kind of stuff. Chuck Schumer's Securing America's Federal Elections Act, which would direct $600 million in election assistance to states and require paper ballot backups. A bipartisan bill requiring Facebook, Google, and other internet companies to disclose purchasers of political ads to identify foreign influence. Again, this is legislation that he blocked. He won't even allow a vote for it in the Senate. But I'm not even done yet. A bipartisan bill to ease cooperation between state election officials and federal intelligence agencies. A bipartisan bill imposing sanctions on any entity that attacks a US election. And finally, a bipartisan bill with severe new sanctions on Russia for its cyber crimes. Again, blocked every single one of them. And he got called out. So Dana Milbank wrote a piece in the Washington Post. Let's quickly go to graphic 3. Mitch McConnell is a Russian agent. And he did not like that one bit and whined about it like a little baby on the Senate floor. Take a look.
We can't let modern day McCarthyism win. So here's my commitment. No matter how much they lie, no matter how much they bully, I will not be intimidated. For decades, I've used my Senate seat to stand up to Russia and protect the United States of America. I'm proud of my record. I'm proud that it's right there in black and white, and liars cannot gaslight it away. Facts matter. Details matter. History matters. And if our nation is losing its ability to debate public policy without screaming about treason, that really matters.
Okay, so he's not allowing for a debate on the Senate floor. He's blocking this legislation. He's blocking any type of vote, any type of discussion. He is such a weasel, and he's beyond undemocratic. He is exactly what Dana Milbank wrote about in his piece. And I love the fact that he got his feelings hurt because he is a Russian. I mean, look, is he working with Russia? No, that's not what anyone's accusing him of. But what he is doing by blocking this legislation is essentially jeopardizing our democracy, our elections, just to help his buddy Donald Trump. And so he even tweeted about this because his feelings are hurt. He said, modern day McCarthyism is poison for American democracy. No, you're poison for American democracy.
Absolutely.
It is shameful to imply that policy disagreements make the other side unpatriotic. The people who push such unhinged smears are doing Putin's destabilizing work for him. Well, AOC hit him up on Twitter, and I love this response. She said, quote, McCarthyism is the practice of baselessly accusing political opponents of being communists as unjust grounds for targeting and harassment. You are blocking action to protect US elections despite official DOJ pleas. That doesn't make you a communist, it makes you a bad leader.
Ooh.
Ladies?
Well, I think she was kind enough in using the term bad leader. Like, if anything, this man is treasonous in his actions. Are you kidding? How more blatant could it get? It is apparent in his actions that he won't even let this be decided on. I don't even think someone should necessarily have this significant of power, especially under these circumstances. The US is so vulnerable. And yet he says that's perfectly fine. Let's continue the way it is.
Because it's short-sighted, right? I mean, the meddling helped one candidate. And so in his mind, why would I want to pass any type of legislation that could potentially help protect our elections so the right candidate based on votes wins, right?
how is he using McCarthyism? Let's break this down for a second. I know AOC talked about this, but this is such a pervasive tactic on the right, is to co-opt the social justice language of the left and use it for their own victim blaming. So Mitch McConnell uses McCarthyism, which was targeting people who maybe identified as socialists or communists and then blacklisted them. And then they had to go underground. They couldn't work. This affected people in Hollywood, it affected politicians. People were sent to jail for this. And then Donald Trump using the term witch hunt, which was used to persecute women, what Donald Trump has been doing his lifetime to women. I can't wrap my brain around these folks using these terms as protective shields from legitimate critiques, concerns of the unraveling of our political process here.
They've created a new playbook, essentially, with what they've done. And the problem is that they continue to take away from people who have that real need and the right to vote and to exercise and to use their voices. And now, hey, just because their vote has been compromised, why do anything about it? And so we're going to continue compromising that. And it just continues to really just speaks to the legacy of America in keeping people disenfranchised from being able to vote and have a say in how their governments run.
Yeah, we still haven't done anything about what went down in Georgia, what went down in Florida. Right. I mean, this is, again, is pervasive.
Yep.
And so it continues the legacy of disenfranchising certain populations and then over counting certain other types of populations and votes, whether it's gerrymandering or being able to block legislation like this that would allow for foreign interference much easier.
This is the reason why I get so frustrated with Democrats who think they need to run as centrist to appeal to Republican voters. Because if Republican policies were actually popular, do you think Republicans would cheat the way that they do, gerrymander the way that they do, disenfranchise voters the way that they do? They have to cheat in order to win elections.
That's right.
Yeah.
That is one example of why their policy proposals are not popular. And you look at the polling issue by issue. Progressive policies poll really well. What Democrats should focus more on, as opposed to changing their messaging and becoming more moderate or centrist, is, hey, what can I do to fight back against these Republican lawmakers who are gaming the system to their advantage?
Absolutely. I mean, with the exception of Bush W's incumbency, the Republicans haven't won a presidential campaign since 1988. So if you take that into mind, and they've all been cheating all the way up to George Bush and then post him. So they've had to get even more aggressive with the way that they cheat and scam the system.
And they're even more blatant about it now because it's even more clear that we don't want their policies. We don't want their ideologies. America's changed. And it's the Republicans who aren't unwilling to let that go.
Like what you see? Click the subscribe button below and don't forget to ring the bell to never miss another video from the Young Turks.